In a moment, I'll give my take on what's going on around here, but I wanted to first start by talking about teachers and gurus. This idea comes up a lot. And I don't have any judgments at all for anyone calling themselves a teacher or referring to gurus. I don't do it. I use speakers and authors. I don't consider myself any of those things. I mean, maybe speaker and author, but certainly not a teacher and not a guru. And I guess one of the reasons that is that in this attempt to describe what is, this amazing vastness, the infinite of all one thing, this idea of teacher and student, in many ways, starts the conversation, starts the explanation in duality. And I understand that all words are dualistic, but the feeling here is that by saying this is a teacher, this is a student, I suppose maybe someone could say, well, that's how you start the relationship, and then the idea is that the teacher then educates the student that they're not a teacher. But it seems to me that relationship gets so built. I've just never, frankly, understood, once I started understanding this, once I started understanding that I don't understand anything, that I don't know anything, there was this stickiness to that. So there's no attempt at being a teacher or a guru. At best, to explain what is actually happening is the infinite is masquerading as this guy fumbling through words in an attempt to describe itself to itself. What you truly are is speaking these words. What you truly are the words and the space in between them. You're not separate from. So the infinite is applying itself, not separate, but in this energetic contraction, talking, pretending that it doesn't know what it is, and yet there's this instinct that it knows that it's it. You are it. You've never been anything other than all of this. So in the ongoing struggle in these talks to describe pointers, to share this apparent experience, to tell different punchlines to the cosmic joke, it's not in a pursuit of anything. It's not in a pursuit of being a teacher, of being a guru, of being a spiritual leader in any capacity. I suppose it's just fun to do. A thought may arise, well, why do you keep doing these talks? Why make the videos then? And the answer, as it is for all why questions, always gets down to because. Because why not? The same reason that any activity happens, whether that activity is exercise or work or doing or sitting or breathing or doing anything. The mind will make an attempt to add meaning to those things. Well, I need to fill in the blank, so this other thing needs to happen. And then it uses that stickiness, that it has something then to hold on to, and then it just sort of piles on all of these other things that need to happen, this cause and effect approach. These talks happen. They just happen. They're not for anyone. I guess if they're for anything, it's consciousness talking as and for itself, but not separate from. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a guru. I'm not different from you. The words being spoken here are just being spoken. Words are being spoken. Words are happening. Talking is happening. Recording, viewing is happening. I mean, it's really so beautiful and so amazing in its simplicity, in it just being this, everything as it is. And when it's seen that nothing needs to happen in pursuit of something else, nothing needs to happen because of something else, then we're just free to be. We're free to act on arisings and things that are coming up, and do it with that freedom, and do it without judgment, without doubt, just moving forward as we're going to anyway. And judgment and doubt and those things are it as well. So it doesn't get easier to understand until the talking stops, until the word stops, until the mind quiets. And that doesn't mean that it stops working. It's just that it just doesn't get as loud. It loses its relevance. Again, there's no judgment for someone calling them a teacher, for someone calling themselves, for referring to others as sages and gurus and enlightened beings. There's no judgment of anything. But that pursuit is not what's happening here. There is I'll refer to it as a sharing energy, a gratefulness, just gratitude and unconditional love for this understanding, for this knowing being that is happening, that is arising. And so there is this natural feeling of wanting to share, wanting to describe, wanting to talk about. And sometimes that doesn't, most of the time, it just ends up being pleasant conversations. And that's it. It's nothing more than that. It's total. It's known. It's perfectly known and perfectly okay that the mind in its pursuit and the seeking energy wants teachers. It wants gurus. It wants that. I mean, that is so common. It's so common in the world, this guru-disciple scenario, this teacher-student. And if anyone listening or watching has had a teacher, someone that they called a teacher that was helpful, that's great. That there are no issues or problems with any of that. I just use speakers and authors. I always have. I don't know why. It just feels, it doesn't feel better. It just feels more accurate to this a level playing field. And I've said that non-duality is the ultimate leveler. It's the ultimate leveler. It's always up for potential revision, and yet the being up for potential revision means it cannot be revised because that's it as well. And there's no interest or ego tied to being correct. Being correct here. It's true freedom to just say, I don't know. But I wanted to speak to that. If you have a teacher, if you look to a guru and that feels right, then proceed. Maybe this talk will change a little bit of perspective so that you realize that you are that teacher. You are that guru. Don't hold them in a higher place. Don't hold them in a different spot that you are. And if any of them are making you feel that way, then maybe bow and politely back away. But you don't have to do that either, by the way. You can continue. Sorry, I had to say that.